In today's episode, we have a couple new world records to go over, an interview with Dana Yi, and a giveaway of the YueXiao Pro. Hello everyone, this is episode 13 of the SpeedCube Review podcast. My name is Sean from SpeedCubeReview.com. Thank you for joining me. So first off, the next few podcasts might be a little bit shorter, or at least less edited. This is the crazy time of the year for weddings. There's like the spring wedding season and then this one, and as a lot of you know, that's kind of my job. I play violin at weddings and also I DJ. Now I'm actually going to be getting out of DJing. It just blew up so fast, so I'm going to just kind of cut back. I might do 1 or 2 a year. If you're a Cuber getting married in Michigan, contact me, or in the Midwest, or actually anywhere. If you're going to fly me out, let me know, because I'm still going to keep my gear. I'm still going to DJ once in a while. So let me get out my notes here actually, so I can make sure that this podcast goes really smoothly. And first, what I want to talk about is the giveaway for the Master Morphix. Winner's been picked. They've been contacted. It's Josh B from New York, and they should have their email, so check that. This week, I'm giving away a YueXiao Pro. I actually bought this YueXiao Pro from SpeedCube Shop. Didn't know if I was going to get one from Moyu, and Moyu did send me one from the factory in between when I bought this one and it got to me. So, it's unopened, it's a stickerless version. I'm just going to ship it out to whoever wins this one. So like all the other ones, at the end of the podcast, go to speedcubereview.com/podcast. There'll be a question there. Answer that question. If you get it right, you'll be submitted to enter. I will just pick a name at random, and that person will win the puzzle. Now, I'm actually really curious if anybody who has gotten puzzles has unboxing videos. Send me those videos. I would love to share them. I know some people have in the past, like I think I gave away like an Aosu, and that person did an unboxing video. So yeah, if you have any unboxing videos or even any posts from like Facebook or something, let me know. I'd love to share those. Now, I recently made a new stickerless puzzle. It was a Volk. It was for someone else, and I tried a new glue. Where did I put it? It's right in front of me. It is the Gorilla Super Glue brush and nozzle. So it has a brush on it. It still says Impact Tough. I don't know if it's the exact same kind of super glue or not, but this was super easy to use. All I did was I brushed the glue, and actually I put the glue on the plastic before I put the magnet on, which I usually don't do just because the glue that just has the nozzle, it's sometimes hard to get that accurate, and then glue just gets everywhere. So I put it around the magnet, but I put it underneath, put the magnet on, and then I put glue around that. I still, on this puzzle, use some of the old stuff on top of it because I want to make sure the magnets do not fall off, because I don't know if it's going to be the same effect, but it was super easy to use. So if you've never magnetized a puzzle and you can get a hold of this brush one, get it. So nice. So let's go into some new puzzles and also just things about some puzzles I've talked about before. The first thing is the Kong's Design Megaminx. There's been more photos, and there are ridges on the outside of the pieces. It looks a lot like the Yushin Megaminx as far as those ridges go, which I really like. I can't stand the sort of bumps they have on the YJ one and the Cuban Classroom one. I actually haven't met anyone who really likes that, except for people who have only used that and not anything else. The sculpted seems to be what everyone loves, but those ridges are definitely nice. We need those ridges on that puzzle, but that's what we're getting with that. So hopefully that'll come out soon. It looks like they're getting really close to development. There have been photos released of the MF3RS2. I don't know much about this, except that the centers definitely have more of a squared ridge underneath the center cap. So something that I believe the Yan 3 had, if I'm remembering correctly. So a lot of cubes have that extra ridge underneath the centerpiece. It helps stabilize it. It might help for other things, but stabilizing is the big thing. So a big complaint people had about the MF3RS is it's just too flexible, which is where magnets come in. But this might fix that. So I don't know if people need it or want it, but it's coming out. Yushin's 3x3 is officially out. I ordered 2 of them. I ordered a stickerless and a stickered. A lot of the cubes I might be talking about, I might do a video before the podcast comes out, so check that out, definitely. But they're calling it the Little Magic. It's tiny. It's what actually, it might be the smallest 3x3 that's not a mini version of another puzzle that I can think of. I mean, the mini Aolong and mini Weilong and mini Zhiyun and Shuang Ren were like 54.5. So, and this is just their only version. So yeah, it might be the smallest one. And I saw someone on Facebook said, well, that's a horrible name. Unless there's something else that little magic means I'm not thinking of. Little makes sense. The cube used to actually be called the Magic Cube before it was a Rubik's Cube. And you might have even heard Rubik's Magic Cube before too. And a lot of companies use the term Mofang. Mofang means magic cube. So Mofanggi, the Mofang Xiaoxi, or however you pronounce it, for the cubing classroom. There's actually just a company called Mofang that was out for a second and now it disappeared. I don't know what happened to that. But yeah, so that's a little magic. It has a lot of different grooves on the pieces, almost similar to how the YueXiao Pro has those grooves on the pieces. That might help with stability, or it might just be, I don't know, a cool little effect on it. The Cubing Classroom mini ones, so they have the 50mm out, which actually I lost. I don't know how I lost it, unless it's somewhere like hidden in my car. I think I left it at a wine vineyard because I played a wedding up there and I always bring a cube with me. No one has said they found it up there because I contacted them, but I ordered a bunch more. I ordered 2 more stickered ones because I kind of like the stickered ones, and then 2 more stickerless just because, I don't know, sometimes I go back and forth between those. Maybe I'll just magnetize them and get rid of them at the next competition. But, oh, actually, real quick. Oh no, I'll talk about that at the records. Never mind. Unedited video. We're going to keep on going with this. So the 40mm, I think they also said they're making a 35 and a 30, but the 40mm one has a keychain on it. It doesn't look like they're coming out with one without a keychain. So if you want a 40mm puzzle that doesn't have a keychain on it, that is the Cubing Classroom one, you're going to have to get 2 and remove the corner and then put a different corner on. I did this, where is my puzzle? I did this with the Yushin one. Was that? Yeah, that was 40mm. So I have the Yushin keychain and I did that same thing with it, but it'll be nice to have one that is a nicer color. I can't remember if the Cyclone Boys is that size, but it might be. I'll have to measure it. Actually, I have a measuring tool right now. I'm going to do that. I'm going to measure this Yushin one, no, the Cyclone Boys one, and figure out what size that is. Because the Cyclone Boys one is really nice, but you can't tension it. I think the tensions are fine already. That is 40mm. Okay. 39.4 is what it says, but I'm calling it 40. So yeah, so about the same size as the Cyclone Boys, but this one will be tensionable. Hopefully, unless they change something up, it should be tensionable. There is now also the Time Machine Cube back out. Now, I have not heard that this is approved by Smaz, which is the nickname of the guy who built it back about 5-6 years ago. So he built it, or made it, designed it. He was kind of making them himself and sticking them, and then they started to show up at places like Light Take, and I think those were official ones. But if you look, they're like $150, and they've been sold out for years. So getting a hold of it was so difficult. These ones came back in stores. I remember got an email from Speedcube Shop saying they were in. I ordered it immediately. It was still kind of expensive, but cheaper than the $150 one. And about 5 minutes later, they were sold out again. So I'm glad I bought it. But I'll have an unboxing of that either before the podcast comes out or soon after that. But I'm really excited. Hopefully they get more of those in. That's one of those puzzles that it doesn't look that hard to make because a lot of pieces are very similar. It's just, I don't know, maybe I want to make sure the original owner gets some credit for this. So in that video, I'll make sure to link to his stuff. There's also the last cube I want to talk about is the GAN SM. More pictures have been released. It should be officially released this week, and hopefully will be in stores really soon. I don't know anything about the pieces. For those who are watching the video, there was just a jump cut. I flipped the camera around because I'm doing meetings for weddings, but GAN just posted about the GAN Air SM, and it has a honeycomb design on the pieces. So it's not just a track, it's a honeycomb, and I found that very interesting. I've never seen a cube have that before, and I want to make sure it got in the podcast. So for those watching the video, wow, crazy, or transition back in 3, 2, 1. On the outside, if they're a different shape, but the inside is definitely different. There are places for magnets. I've never heard of anyone's magnets falling off on the GAN UM. There probably is someone out there, but I've never heard of it, so it's obviously not a big widespread problem. But there's actually spots for magnets to sit in, which is really nice. It's going to hold them in even better. Be maybe a little more controllable. I don't actually know for sure. But anyways, that's all I have about that. So that's 4 cubes for today. So we have 2 new world records. We've got the 2x2 world record average that's finally been broken. It's been a couple years by Rami Spahi. And he did it at Michigan 2017, which I was bummed I could not go to. There was a lot of people at Michigan 2017, a lot of big names out there. But he beat it with a 1.45 second average. The times were really nice. 4 of them were in the 1.4 second spot. There was 1.44, 1.49, 1.42, 2.04, 1.41. So he broke the record. Actually, the video is fun to watch. After he breaks it, he goes for a little bit of a jog. But Lucas Edders was there, who had the old world record, and they shook hands afterwards. It was a nice little transfer of records there. The other world record that was broken was FMC average by Sebastian Auraux, Auraux. And this was from only FMC 2017. He had a 24 average. The 3 solves were 23, 26, and 23. Now this is a really good average of 3 because his last average of 3 at the same competition was 29, 29, 29, which is actually really funny to me. I don't know if this was one day, but doing 6 FMC attempts in one day is exhausting. So if that's the case, well done. Yeah, as far as competitions go, the only thing I'm making sure I take time off for is FMC USA or whatever it's called. So I'm going to make sure I go to that. I actually already turned down a gig just to do that because I'm already booked for any of the other times the competitions are going to be going on around this area. So that might be the last thing throughout the year. So I want to make sure I've got FMC down before that. So, okay, let's do a couple of questions that have been sent in. First, we have Reggie from the UK. I wonder how many Cubist family members know how to do Rubik's Cube. I'm married with 2 children and everyone in my family knows how to do it. I've also taught my nieces and nephews plus my daughter's friends. Strange, I've taught my children, but they are now better than me. The main difference is their TPS and recognition is better than me, even though I know more algorithms than. But I do better cubes, which they don't. Oh, okay, I saved it to you. So yeah, I don't have any kids. I got a couple dogs and a cat. Neither of them know how to cube. I started to teach my wife, but she wasn't that interested, and I'm not gonna force her to learn. So I gave her a couple cubes, and she'll mess with them once in a while, but it's not her thing. So right now, no family members. I know some of my cousins have said that they've watched my videos, so maybe they're getting into it, but I don't know for sure. Again, I don't want to they're interested when I do it, but no one's come up to me and be like, oh, can you teach me how to do it? So I haven't actually tried that. Some of my violin students have learned how to cube. And I actually had one student, he was an older student, and a lot of my older students after a certain time, I think I'm good. I think I can kick this off my bucket list. And so after that, I had one student, he contacted me and he goes, okay, yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm done. I've learned what I want to learn. But I have 3 more lessons already I've paid for, so for those 3 lessons, can you teach me how to cube? So we spent the 3 lessons and went through how to solve a puzzle. And actually, I almost want to redo my beginner tutorial because for the edge insertion, instead of doing the U prime, R prime, then insert with F prime, U, that sort of thing where you're pairing them and inserting them, we just did I showed him that, and I showed him another one that was the R prime, U prime, R prime, U prime, R prime, U, R, U, R. I think something like that. But it was a really easy algorithm, but it doesn't really make sense of how they get paired up. So I was like, okay, there's this algorithm that makes that you can see what happens, and there's this other algorithm that you can't really see what's going on. It doesn't make much sense, but it's easy to memorize, and you would like that one. So I almost want to redo the beginner method tutorial and show a couple different versions, or show that one as well. But that beginner tutorial has 300,000 views, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to have another one out there because that one's already doing kind of well. But anyways, I'm getting off track. Yeah, so no family members that I know of know how to solve a cube. Justin from Washington asked, this question, I looked this over. I wasn't going to answer it, but I want to talk about the second part, so I will kind of answer this. Is most of the money put into cubes from your DJ and violin lessons? Not 100% sure on your jobs, and then do competitions make profit off money they put into it? So first off, I don't like talking about money, how much I make or spend, but when I started off, a lot of money that I made went to cubes. And a lot of people ask, how do you have so many cubes? I'm an adult with a job, and I waste money on plastic puzzles. Now I make a little money from YouTube and from advertisements and get credit at shops from advertisements. So a lot of that just goes right back into things, and it's able to keep me going. It's not like I'm not quitting my day job to do cubes. That's at this point impossible. And I'm not planning on starting a Patreon or anything because I don't really feel like I have anything to offer on that. But yeah, so that's how I purchase most of my puzzles, because those are my jobs. I teach violin lessons. I play at weddings. Surprisingly, I'm making a living doing that. But I mean, it's not an extravagant living. Anyways, I'm gonna move on from there. So the question about, do competitions make money? I was talking to a delegate about this, and I'm hoping to have on the podcast. So if you listen to this, you know who I'm talking about. And we were talking about money with competitions and how it's raised. And it's possible, like they can make money, and the money can go towards furthering the club or the organization or buying new materials. I think they can walk away with money, but it's not really an ethical thing. I'm not 100% certain on this. I know some of the competitions I've been to, they actually refunded everyone's money. So you go to the competition and they refund your money or a certain percentage of it. So yeah, it's I don't think it's ethical, but I think they're able to. So hopefully I'll have that delegate on. We can talk a little bit more about that. Dana Yee's a delegate, but I forgot to ask that question. I don't know if she would have known. She probably would have had some answer. But anyways, we're going to keep going on. Min asks, should I start learning full OLL? I average 15, and should I start learning COLL? Okay, I've answered this a couple other times for other people. There is no timestamp of when you should start learning algorithms. I've heard people say, don't start such and such until you're under 20 seconds. No, learn at any time. And actually, just like that last person, Reggie, was saying that you could be slower than someone and know more algorithms. And so waiting till a certain time is actually just might make it more difficult. If you are under 15 seconds and then trying to learn new OLL algorithms, it's going to be more frustrating because your times are going to get slower after they've already been faster, I guess. So learn them at any time. If you could be if you could learn one look OLL and one look PLL at being only a minute solving, that's awesome. Because after that, then it's just getting faster with that. So I would suggest learning it now. Don't wait on it at all. Just go for it. Learn as much as you can. Have fun doing it. Don't rush it. But yeah, don't wait till a certain time. Jordan from Texas, how do you feel about SpeedCube Shop Cubicle rivalry? Okay, I don't. Talking to them, they don't like hate each other or like constantly battle with each other. They're two retailers. I don't think I purchase from one more than the other now just because I've had a lot of communication. That person's been really friendly to me, but yeah, they're retailers. I feel like anyone who is like, so-and-so, I like only with them and so-and-so sucks. Like, chill out, dude. They both offer pretty much the same kind of products. Like I said, I go with one just because I've had a lot friendlier interactions, but that's my thing. I'm going to leave it there. This question I didn't answer last week, or I didn't answer earlier because I wasn't going to, but I'm going to talk about this. Seth asked, do you think Colin Burns' sponsorship with Yushin ruined his cubing career? I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, he has talked about in the past how he doesn't know a ton of algorithms, and a lot of what he does is, he's been really, really modest about what he knows. And his averages at the competition, he got the world record like a few years ago now, was an 8-second, a 9-second, a 9-second, and a 10-second average. Like, yeah, he had a even 10-second average when he got the world record of 5.25. At Worlds, just a month ago, he got a 7 average, an 8 average, and an 8 average. He's gotten better since then. And I'm sure his sponsorship has helped him out. I don't know if he still is, what he got from it. But no, I think that question's ridiculous. I have two more questions. Samuel from Utah in the homeland of America. What are your thoughts and opinions on companies announcing new puzzles and saying they should be out soon but taking a long time to release it or not releasing at all? Opinions on Chi and the Senhuan's situation with Clock. Oh, this is interesting. I think when they're official announcements, it could harm their own, like when they announced the Bosu and even the Aosu GT or the Aosu version 2, that probably hurt their sales of their own Aosu. When they're official ones like that. If a designer is leaking, so even that could be bad. I mean, it's good to know what's coming out, and it's nice to know because then I get to talk about it. But yeah, they should, or at least in their thing, say there is no release date. It might be a year from now. It might be even further. Put something like that. Just a disclaimer, because this community likes to take things and run with them and make assumptions. And like, I saw a post today on Facebook. What are people's thoughts on the SM? No one really has the SM except for a few people that got them from GAN. So asking opinions are asking just assumptions, and then assumptions become reality. Like, oh, so yeah, I think they need to realize their base of people just like to run with things. So last question, do you have any tips for getting faster at OH? I think I talked about this, but the biggest thing is practice. It's muscle development more than anything. It's not so much like learning an algorithm, it's just muscle development. So, okay, I'm going to end this here. This is going to go to the interview with Dana Yi. So I want to thank Dana one more time for being on the podcast. To enter the giveaway, head over to speedcubereview.com/podcast, and you can enter the giveaway for the YueXiao Pro. You can also submit questions for me to answer on the podcast. So that's how you can get on the show. Thank you very much for listening. If you're on iTunes, please leave a review. It greatly helps the show out. If you're on YouTube, hit like and subscribe, of course. Thank you for watching or listening, and I will talk to you guys later.